We have Eve Gaia. Hi, welcome.
Hi,
CEO Tunu Bakeries. Ametutengenezea meza and Dr. Rain karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Title itakuwa ni Dr. Rain hivyo tu basi.
It's just Dr. Rain. Of course, I have government names, but
Yes.
Dr. Rain is the brand, just like you have Dr. Oz and things like that.
Okay.
But Kenyans know me as Dr. Rain.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Eve Tunu,
Eve
what,
Tunu.
what happened to your voice? Good morning.
Morning
Are
to
you okay?
Kelly. Yes,
It's
I'm
a Monday
okay.
morning.
Yes,
Are you
yes,
fine?
I'm
You had a
very
great
okay.
weekend?
I had that awesome weekend.
Okay. So today we're talking to the nursing moms, and there's so many things that happen, so many questions. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please send it. I'll start with a story. A personal friend, a couple of years ago, I think maybe 6 years ago, she got a child, her first baby, and there was no milk. Well, probably there was milk, but there was nothing. We didn't know. So we were just there. And then she's crying, she's wailing. Then the room is full of like 3 other women trying to make her milk come. So she's in pain. The milk is not there. The baby is crying. She's crying. It was a mess. And I didn't know about all of this. How did Tunu come up with, where did this need come from? Lactation cookies.
I would say the need was from an aunt of mine who was in the same situation. She had given birth and she didn't have enough milk. Her job is quite demanding and she needed not just to breastfeed, but also to express and store milk. Mm-hmm. And from that point is when she approached me and she told me that she wanted something, if I can work on something that can help her boost her milk production.
Okay.
So that is how Tunu Lactation Bites came about.
Okay, and we'll get to the nitty-gritties of what is in there. But maybe Dr. Rainey can tell us what really happens. We are built to be mothers. We are built to, nurse our children. But then here we are, we're not able to do it.
I like how you've started that. You're built to be mothers. But you see, unfortunately, one thing people don't know is that you're not given a manual.
No.
You're not taught how to be a mom.
Yeah.
You're not taught about breastfeeding and breast milk. We assume that this is a motherly instinct, but it's actually a technique that you have to learn. And that's why I'm happy to be here with Tunu, because one of our roles as pediatricians is to help the mother, prepare the mother on what they need to do to boost milk production. So for example, your friend most likely, once you talk about pain, if you have pain, that suppresses your breast milk.
Okay.
If you have stress, that suppresses your breast milk. Then it's also good to know that in the first 3-4 days, our milk production or volume is not so high, but we have a different kind of milk. Milk keeps changing. Breast milk is the most beautiful thing.
Really?
I am an advocate for breastfeeding. Currently doing research in breastfeeding actually. So I would say breast milk is the best thing you can give your child. If it is a gift you can give your baby, if you don't have to have a lot of money, but breast milk is definitely the way forward. Your friend's issue was, number 1, breastfeeding education, number 2, pain and stress, and then just a lot of support that she needed to be told about how to breastfeed, how to latch.
Is it like that happens before, like during your prenatal clinic? That's when it's supposed to happen.
Exactly. That should happen in prenatal clinic, and as soon as you give birth, you should have at least some contact with a pediatrician or a midwife or a healthcare worker who has some knowledge into breastfeeding. These are actually what we call the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. So one of them has to be that the institution where you give birth has the right to offer you breastfeeding education. So we try and tell the mother about breastfeeding, how to latch onto the baby, things you need to avoid so that your breasts don't get engorged. And another thing is, to produce more breast milk, you need to express more. The more you express milk, the more you will produce. The more you are less stressed, the more milk you will produce. And it's really a challenge. And this is a beautiful thing because we don't have a system that supports us. The WHO says within 6 months, at least you should exclusively breastfeed. Don't introduce anything else, because it saves over 800,000 lives of babies that could be lost because of all the good things and the immune boosters that breast milk has.
Okay.
So in a country where we only have 3 months maternity leave, and the mama mbogas don't have any maternity leave.
No, they don't.
It's really important for us to have
This
superfoods that boost your milk.
Okay, and I'm just going to throw it to our audience this morning. If you've had any problem nursing your baby, what did you do? What is that story? I remember that story, my friend's story. It wasn't, like, I can't forget it. What did you have to go through? How bad was it for you? And if you can nominate a woman today, maybe why do we call you Tuno? Eve, maybe you can tell us, you're giving away some of this goodies to our audience today. How many are we giving away?
We are giving away 5 kgs.
5
to
kgs.
5 breastfeeding moms. We know the importance of breastfeeding,
Yes.
and not just via Switch TV. We have assisted so many mothers out here, those who really, really need the breast milk,
Yeah.
and they need to breastfeed, but they are not capable or they are not financially stable. We have helped many, but today we are choosing 5 more women
Okay.
to walk the journey with them.
Absolutely. And all you need to do is just send in your story, share your story with us, 111 That is our SMS line. Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. So what is in these cookies? They look yummy. Is it okay? Can I eat them?
Yes, you
Oh,
can.
okay, cool. Just just checking. What is in them?
Now, the beauty about the cookies is, like what Dr. Ren just said, is it's a superfood.
Yes.
By a superfood is, it's packed with nutrients that a breastfeeding mom needs. Now, the thing about the cookies is we have used natural ingredients that you can easily source from the market,
Okay.
put them together at the right ratios that will help boost breast milk. What the cookie does is it has specific ingredients that some of them mimic your hormones, and some of them calm your nerves. And of course, cocoa is also very good. You'll get it in the dark chocolate, which is also good for a breastfeeding mom. We have also added, just to mention few of the ingredients, brewer's yeast, which is packed with vitamins.
You call it what?
Brewer's yeast.
Okay.
It's packed with vitamins and really good for a breastfeeding mom. We've also included oats, which are also good for a breastfeeding mom. And of course, the fenugreek, the fennel seeds, the dill seeds, which is, but the dill seeds is also good for colic. So the cookies don't just help you produce milk, they also help you fight colic, because it's a tendency for kids to get colic. And it also helps you with your digestive system because they're full of fibers. Again, when you're breastfeeding, the hormones can actually make you bloat, and that discomfort alone can put you under a lot of pressure. So the cookies also are high in fibers, which is good for your digestive system, yes. So it's an all-round cookie.
This and it looks good,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it's tasty. When you mentioned cocoa, nikakumbuka venye how pregnant moms are just stuffed cocoa. Iko na maji mekewa hivyo memixiwa manjahi and all of that to just help in production of the milk. But some of the things that women do not know, or just get into this, and maybe Dr. Rain, you can just loop us in on this. When you get a child, there are those things that you are supposed to have been taught before, but then you do not know. And sometimes it's maybe the pores are not opening up. Now, what could that be what could be the problem with that?
Okay. So first things first, for you to have good amount of breast milk, you need to have the right nutrition.
Okay.
And nutrition starts from the day of conception all the way until the focus on nutrition until the child is 2 years. This is what we call the window of opportunity. The first 1,000 days of life is the most important. So we should already, the obstetrician gynecologist who is seeing the mother should have already emphasized the importance of maternal nutrition. They should have already emphasized about supplementing the mother with things like folic and iron, so that you don't have small babies, stillbirths, and the frequency of miscarriages can go up. And the other thing that is very important is now when the mom, you optimize the nutrition, and it's very simple, and we have a lot of that here in Kenya. Just make sure that you're drinking a lot. If you are a mother who got pregnant and you're within your normal BMI, you need to at least have an extra 300 calories to your usual calorie intake. But calories can be confusing because a lot of people don't know how to calculate. Just know that they need to eat a little bit more, but they need to be more healthy, more of the fresh and raw produce opposed to the processed stuff like junk food, things that are in boxes. So you should avoid all the processed foods. Stick to the more healthy, balanced diet, more vegetables, very good carbohydrates that are easily to digest, a lot of fruits and vegetables. If you do that, you should be in a position to produce breast milk. Now, once you become a mom, once you give birth, a lot happens. Your breast milk starts being produced when you're still pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a process we call lactogenesis. I won't go into the details, but just know that things are happening in the breast. Hormones have been activated. So once the baby comes out, certain hormones are released that were suppressing the milk. So once baby comes out, it hits a trigger, the placenta comes out, and then milk let down. We have a milk let down hormone. But for you to produce volumes, you need to take in, right? So input, output. So if you want your baby to have a lot of milk, make sure you're hydrating, right? And we don't want to put it in a way that this is a superfood, eat this alone, your breast milk will come. You have to do the other supportive measures to make sure that your breast milk is always in good supply. So that is eating very well, hydrating very well. Adding a superfood like this is very important because it contains the micronutrients, it contains the dill seeds and fenugreek, which we call it's a big word. It's called a galactalog. But basically what it does, it helps your milk producing hormone to produce milk. And then you also have the another hormone that helps to eject the milk from the breast. Now this one is an emotional one. So make sure that you have a very close attachment with your baby. And also the father needs to have this bond. It's what we call kangaroo care. So just like a kangaroo in the pouch, you need to hold your baby bare-chested, baby bare-chested. This can be dad, this can be mom. And once you do that as much as possible, this sends a signal in the brain. It's actually the pleasure hormone. It's the same hormone that gets released when you reach climax. So that helps to eject the milk. So when you work on those two, you'll be good.
I am learning a lot, and I hope you too. But you need to share your stories with us because Tunu Bakeries is actually giving away 5 kgs to 5 moms. We are looking at nursing moms who this will go a long way. It has an amazing shelf life as well. We'll be talking about all of that when we come back from the break. 111 444 111. That is our SMS line. Please share your stories with that. If you have any questions as well, Dr. Rain is here for you. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mwikali. A very good morning to you. We're taking in all your questions. If you're a nursing mom and you're struggling with breast milk and your baby is also struggling, well, this conversation is definitely for you. We have Dr. Rain in studio and Eve of Tunu Bakeries, and we are giving away 5 kgs of lactation cookies to 5 moms this morning. If you're a nursing mom, this is definitely for you. And I think the question is it okay for like guys to just knock on them? Are they specifically for just, nursing moms? Ama pia mimi naeza kula?
Now the cookies have been formulated for a nursing mom.
Okay.
But we have incorporated natural ingredients, and most of them are seeds. Dill seeds, fenugreek, fennel seeds, simsims, chia seeds. These are things that can be consumed by anyone as long as you do not have an allergy towards any of the ingredients.
Okay.
So the cookies will gear a breastfeeding mom to produce more milk, but to any other ordinary person who does not like share in those hormones, it's just a healthy food. It's a healthy pack. In fact, sometimes I give my daughters for breakfast, and it keeps them full the whole day. We have oats for breakfast. You can have simsims for breakfast. You can have chia seeds for breakfast. So for a breastfeeding mom, what Dr. Rain said, breastfeeding is a whole round circle. It's not just about nutrition. It's about the hormones. It's about the affection. It's about everything. It's about your well-being. So these only play the nutrition part.
Okay.
So for any other person, including men have not been exempted. It's a healthy packed food.
I thank you for saying that, because during the break, there's a gentleman in studio who was just like, can I Naweza
Yeah,
sikula
yeah.
pia mimi. So yes, you can.
Yes.
Hello, Tunu and Dr. Rain. What happens if you have excess milk even after 1 year of breastfeeding? Kindly help.
Well, that depends. If she wants to stop producing breast milk, then basically you just stop the child from suckling. So what happens is once your breasts don't get stimulated, so you have your glands inside there and their ducts. So one of the ways to stimulate milk production is when the baby is suckling or when you're expressing, because you massage the ducts to remove breast milk. So once you stop that, naturally that it sends a signal to the brain that there is no more suckling, so we need to stop producing breast milk, because that's one in a way to stop producing breast milk. The other thing is that one of the hormones called prolactin is actually a natural family planning like hormone. So meaning that when you do breastfeed and you breastfeed a lot at night especially, it doesn't it acts like a contraceptive or birth control naturally. So when you stop that, that also gears the body. Now we are of age, we are done with pregnancy, we can stop lactation, go back to the hormones. So if you're planning to get another child, you can also get one. So if she doesn't stop, then there's a risk that if she's planning to conceive, then it might be harder for her to actually get a baby. So that's one natural way. Two, if she doesn't plan on stopping, there's a lot of donations that there's a bank, I think at is it at Mama Lucy or Pumwani? There's actually these breast milk banks that people can donate breast milk to.
Oh.
Yes.
And is there a problem? You've seen some moms will breastfeed their child maybe 2 years in.
No, actually the recommendation is you need to breastfeed your child until 2 years of age.
Okay.
So after 2 years, then it's optional, because like anything else, breast milk is just a very nutritious milk. It contains a lot of immune boosters, let me put it that way.
Yes.
So people can understand. So it can prevent a lot of diseases, it can prime your immune system very well. However, after 6 months of age, the baby reaches a milestone, and breast milk doesn't have enough calories to sustain normal growth, and that's why we recommend you start weaning or introducing complementary foods at 6 months. Also because we don't have enough iron in your breast milk at 6 months, your iron levels start going down. And iron is very important because it is the building block that forms blood. So if you don't have enough of that, your child can get anemia, or what you'll hear doctors saying, your HB is low. Basically that means your blood levels are a bit low, and you don't want that in a growing child. It can lead to a whole array of complications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to add on that,
yes, please.
there are also medications that can actually help in subsiding the breast milk. Of course, I'm not allowed to mention it on air. That will be international subscription. But talk to your gynecologist. If you've taken the necessary steps, the natural ways to stop the breast milk, and you're still leaking,
Yes.
then talk to your gynecologist.
Okay.
There are drugs that are available that can actually help in subsiding the breast milk.
Okay. Thank you for that. Kuna nyingine hapa. Good morning, Wikali. I'm Judith from Ngong. I'm enjoying the show. I have a 2 months baby and I have been struggling with breastfeeding. I even have to use warm water and a towel to wash my breast. I eat a lot of greens and still nothing. I truly need the cookies. Kindly consider me. What could be the problem? And how effective is the warm water and the towel?
Is she explaining like she's got engorgement of the breast, or
No, I think she's just
Getting
trying
milk,
to
so she's massaging her breast
massaging
to
to
see
just
if maybe
help
get
the
milk?
ducts are-
Yeah.
Okay. So
with warm water.
No, I don't think that will help, unless now
They're
sometimes your
engorged.
breast can get engorged. Now what
Okay.
that means is that for you to produce milk, you have to so think of it as a tank. Okay, so you have to empty your tank for it to be filled again. So once it's full and you don't empty it, then it stops producing that hormone to produce milk.
Okay.
Right? The same way I said, like if you want to stop breastfeeding or stop producing, just don't suckle, don't breastfeed. But if you keep breast milk in your breast for a long time, your breast can get engorged, and then this can lead to a lot of pain. And then when you want to breastfeed, your nipples can get cracked and then can lead to other infections. So for her, what I'd say is work on the nutrition first. Have a very balanced diet. Drink a lot of water. Plenty of fruits, vegetables, which she seems to be doing.
Yeah.
Eliminate any stress factors if possible. She needs support. It takes a village for a mother to successfully breastfeed. So mothers shouldn't be hard on themselves when they're having these issues, because a lot of the times you are expected to do it alone, but you can't. You need support at home. You need support within the community. You need support at work, in the workplace. So it takes a village. When I say for you to successfully breastfeed,
Yeah.
it's not just about you as a mom. And a lot of moms really go hard and they guilt trip themselves. And when they guilt trip themselves, they become more stressed, more anxious, and then the milk disappears. So tell her to take it easy. You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Just let the people around her know that she needs support. If it's household chores and things like that, reduce the stress load. Finance-wise, manaume ende go grind and make some money for mom so that it's a bit
Atulie
easier.
tu.
Atulie kidogo.
Yeah.
Grandma should support. She shouldn't stress her saying, you see, you're not doing a good job. Support, basically.
I think that's powerful,
Yeah.
because you might be eating right, but then you're not the
Yes.
emotional one that you mentioned earlier.
Exactly.
Gina. Where are we? Okay, here we are. I am a lactating mom to a 1-month-old baby. I have 3 months leave from work. What food is good for the baby for that period when I'm not with my baby?
So now, there is where we have a big problem. So, and in fact, one of the things I'm advocating for is workplace support for the breastfeeding mother. So it's very important for people to understand, and I don't want to go into politics, but our constitution is really the best thing. We had a Health Act in 2017, which actually, if you are employed on contract as formal employment, then in your workplace, there must be what we call a lactation station or a breastfeeding station. This is a place where mom can get comfortable, privately, comfortable chair. There's a sink, there's a hand washing basin, you have a fridge, you have access to electricity for your breast pump. There is somewhere where you can sit down and express comfortably. Now, for your every 8-hour working shift, you are entitled to 1 hour to go and express breast milk for your child. These laws were put in place so that we can actually achieve exclusive breastfeeding until 6 months, because our maternity leave is only for 3 months.
Yes.
So you wonder, how am I going to do this? When you go back to work, number one, what happens is you get separation anxiety from your baby. So because of that separation anxiety, your breast milk goes down. So already going to work is just an impairment to your breast milk production. So that is why those laws are in place. This is Health Act, I think, 71, 2017. So one, they must provide for you a breastfeeding station. You should not be expressing in a toilet. You should not be expressing in the car, because this is the reality. That's what's happening.
That's true.
Because you're going back to work and you don't have room.
Yeah.
People don't support or respect the breastfeeding mother, and they have their rights. This is in the Health Act.
Yes.
So lactation station number one, you are entitled to 1 hour of breastfeeding of your 8-hour working shift, plus your 1 hour lunch time that you're entitled to, meaning you're working for 6 hours. You should be allowed flexible working hours, what we call flexi time, to support breastfeeding. So if you can work from home, especially during this pandemic, the employer should accord you that. You have the actual rights to do that. And two is that on top of all those things is that there should be a breastfeeding policy for people to understand at the workplace what happens when you're breastfeeding. Somebody is breastfeeding, or your colleague, you shouldn't be harassing them, saying that they're taking too many breaks and things like that. So those should be in place. So
I feel like I want to hug you right now. I'm just like, like for all the moms, we've seen them being harassed left, right, center. I'm sure
Yes,
you've seen that as
very
well.
much,
And
very
experienced
much,
that when you talk to other moms. It's
Yes.
just crazy
Yeah.
sometimes.
it's
So
crazy.
it's good to know that, and even for the
good to know your
employers out
rights.
there to just realize that this is something that you need to give the moms. It's their right.
It's their right.
It is
It's
their
actually
right.
their right.
Si ati tunaomba.
And if you're working in a reputable company and you're still expressing in your car or in the bathroom,
Can we sue?
go and of course you can sue.
See,
If they
that's-
said the president can be sued, why can't your employer be sued? So
Absolutely.
that's the constitution for you.
And
Yeah.
another thing I always advise breastfeeding moms who, because I tend to get so many of those questions,
Yes.
is you can harness a lot also at night. Basically, digestion takes 3 to 4 hours for most foods. If you're able to feed right just before you go home, maximize on that time. By the time you're waking up, maybe 4 a.m. in the morning, you're able to express at least 250 to 500 mLs in a day, which will push your baby through half of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maximize, like try to use every resource that you have around you, because at the end of the day, it's your baby who's going to suffer. You have your rights in place, and also maximize on everything that is around you. Maximize during the night to, of course, to express. And of course, when you express during the night, you're also helping your body to stimulate that hormone. Because at the end of the day, if you're away for like 8 to 12 hours, that means your baby is not breastfeeding, and you only have 1 hour to stimulate your body. Maximize anytime you get around your baby, maximize on that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. That's really nice.
So that's what's going to help,
Yeah.
because you have the 3 months you're back and you want to hit that 6 months mark to improve your baby's outcome in life.
Yeah.
It's important that you expressing. The more you express, the more you produce, and you can store your expressed breast milk in a freezer for up to 6 to 12 months.
Ooh.
You can store it in the fridge for up to a week, and it can stay on a countertop just for at least 8 hours.
Okay.
So that's what's going to help you. But if they don't support you, and that's the point we were driving home, is that if they don't support you in a place where you can express properly, then you have a problem.
Yeah. Okay. I have a 2-month-old baby with colic that is quite uncomfortable to her, especially before passing stool. How can we handle that?
Okay.
Try.
Okay.
There are natural remedies to colic, and one thing I advise most mothers is try massaging your baby.
Okay.
Of course, it's always from this side, your right side, to the left side. Massage the baby's stomach so that they can release the gas as much as possible. There are also the bicycle exercises for the baby. Be gentle with your baby. Release the gas as much as possible. Best time to do it is in the evening or just after having a shower, after bathing your baby. You either massage the stomach from right to left. It's very important that you massage from right to left, because that is how your digestive system is.
Oh.
It moves from this side, goes all the way to this side. So if you're doing this, you're actually like building up the load. Yes, but when you do this, it's like
Right to
releasing.
left.
Right to left.
Okay.
And then, of course, do the bicycles for your baby. It will help release most of the gas.
Okay.
Yes. Those are some
Okay.
of it.
True. I agree with that 100%. It will give relief. But let me demystify colic, because a lot of people think colic doesn't have treatment. Okay? Infant colic. Now, infant colic is something that is natural, and it usually disappears at the age of 3 months to 4 months of age. It's because the child has been getting nutrition from the placenta directly through the umbilical cord. Now you've introduced milk into this digestive system that is relatively new and has never experienced any digestion. So it still needs time to adapt. So the more the child will breastfeed, sometimes it will lead to issues. Now, colic can be prevented or reduced by correct breastfeeding technique. When the child is able to latch on properly onto the breast and not swallow a lot of air, those air trappings is actually what causes the colic, because air gets trapped and then it's gas. So same way you feel bloated, very bloated, that's what happens in colic. And this is a baby who can't tell you I'm bloated or I'm crying. So a lot of it is cringing. They will fist a little bit and sort of like try and push or relieve themselves. The other thing is that a lot of crying. When colic is bad, the baby can cry for a very, very long time and non-stop. So it's very important you prevent colic by one, correct breastfeeding technique, latching, and then after you finish, you make sure that you burp the baby. Burping the baby takes patience. It can take 20 minutes, it can take 30 minutes. You're just waiting to hear your baby burp. So make sure that you're patient, give it 2 to 3 months. There are drugs out there that they give their baby, but I would be very honest with you, there is no treatment. Some of them may relieve the pain for a little bit. So if one is working for you in reducing the crying time, that's fine. But always know it's a symptom. You're just treating symptoms. You're reducing the crying time, nothing else. But colic will disappear from 3 to 4 months.
Okay. Okay, we're getting schooled. Learning a lot. Hi. Good morning, Mikali. I'm Jackie, and my baby is now 6 months. Is that the one I read? No. And I've never breastfed my baby since day one, since I did not have the tips, and I had no milk. So the doctor advised I should get cow and gate for my baby, and that's what my baby has been taking since. Listening to your discussion, I think it was due to stress and pain since my boyfriend left me from the first month of my pregnancy. Also, I lost my job due to corona, and I got my baby through C-section. There's a lot there.
Wow, that just goes to show you how much mothers go through, you know.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of the things that people go through. And it's also to highlight, number one, there are laws that prohibit people like us to promote formula, but I must say formula is one of the second best thing that you can give when you can't breastfeed. Now, this is an example of somebody who had all these issues and lost milk and couldn't breastfeed. As much as I want to give them breast milk, I can't. The next best thing is formula. And that's a good brand that she chose. I'm not going to repeat.
I was just like, it is?
Yeah, it's a good formula. It's a reputable formula, and it's a good choice for her. I would say when we have issues, when you absolutely cannot breastfeed due to other issues, I'll give you an example. The other day I saw a patient, and the baby was on formula, and I was very quick. I'm very defensive about why you're putting your kids on formula and not breastfeeding. But then I later came to realize that he lost his wife to COVID when the baby was just 2 months. So what do you do for such a child? There's no other choice but to give formula. So the next best thing is formula. Please do not introduce cow's milk before the age of 1. I'll even go ahead and push it up to 2 years because it has a lot of salt content. It doesn't have iron. So if you can't breastfeed, then you'd have to go with formula. Yeah.
You know, I'm learning a lot. I'm a nursing mom. My milk is too little. What should I take? I think we've answered this before, or they're just tuning in. But I think nutrition is key. Less stress is also key, and definitely Tunu Bakery's lactation cookies.
See, we're good teachers. Look, now you can teach. Now you can go spread the gospel.
I can.
Be that auntie that's giving good advice, not...
Okay, our time is really up. You have a YouTube channel where you talk about this. This is my
forte. This is what I live and breathe. I'm an advocate for breastfeeding. I feel breast milk is the way to go. You can go check out my YouTube channel. It's Ask Dr. Rain. It's on YouTube. I have channels where, especially my latest episodes on breastfeeding would be really good for you guys. I have more episodes coming up, especially on formula. That's our next topic. And Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, Dr. Rain, DRREIGN. I talk breastfeeding. I talk activism. I talk a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Eve, social
Tunu
media.
Bakeries as usual. Tunu Bakeries on all platforms.
And thank you so much for, I know we were celebrating mothers last week, but we're still doing that, and I think it's a good day, any day, to just celebrate mothers who are doing their most out there. Asante Sana, we're going to be announcing the winners. We're looking for 5 winners, 5 nursing mothers. We're going to walk away with 5 kgs each of the lactation cookies. Barikiwa Sana. We are taking a very short commercial break. When we come back, I'll come back with the winners, and we will have another conversation about the state of our country. The last couple of weeks, they've been crazy. BBI and stuff after this break.